baseball game out there, but that's my neck of the woods, my family's neck of the woods. Um, I, like everybody else has said, really want to stress that here at PGMS, I love the fact that it's about growth mindset and the not yet mentality. In other words, we'll get there. And we encourage our students to retry, to ask questions, to collaborate. And I know that in history, and I know Mr. Rosen does this as well, we do like to get our kids into cooperative groups, and so that they can bounce ideas off one another, strategize, and then of course, pull together into large group discussions. We talk a lot in world history, especially medieval world history. It's ugly, messy, gory, fun, exciting, a time period that I would never want to live in. I don't think most people would. However, we have some commonalities to the present when we take a look at what we're currently going through with COVID-19 and of course the era of the bubonic plague. Not entirely the same, but nonetheless, kids can draw those parallels from past to present. As far as the class itself, we start off with the fall of Rome in Europe, and then we move through feudalism, and then we kind of make our way through different medieval civilizations around the world. We obviously cannot cover all of them, but we do first semester move from medieval Europe to the Middle East, to West Africa, and help me out, Dennis, if I forget. Then we move to, actually that'll kind of round out first semester. And then second semester, India, China, Japan. We come over to the Americas and we focus on the Aztecs, the Mayan, and the Incas in Peru. Then we head back over to Europe for the Age of Exploration, the Renaissance, the Reformation, Scientific Revolution, and we end the year with the Enlightenment. We hope.
Yes, we hope.
That
was all of them too, except for India.
India, yes. We have a smaller India unit, and we do, well, I think we'll probably start off second semester with that. But it sets us up really nicely for 8th grade. As I had mentioned, I teach one section of 8th grade. Mr. Gamble teaches the other 5 sections of US history. And the whole idea of the Enlightenment and how that fuses into the ideas for our country's government. So it's kind of a nice continuation of where we leave off, or where we have left off in 7th grade. As far as resources, I'm going to be an echo of the previous departments. Google Classroom, Google Classroom, Google Classroom. And I tell my students this daily. Under classwork, everything, instructions, assignments, if there are any paper handouts, they're scanned, they're attached in Google Classroom. Kids can print them out. If they lose one, they can print it out. So it's kind of their go-to spot. They became very used to it last year. So encourage your students to check there. If they can't find something, or they're curious about or have questions about an assignment, they can also use the little private message, and kids do that often. If they have questions for me, they don't understand something or they forgot something, and I will usually get back to them as long as it's not too late in the evening. I have a life too. Other than that, their planner, they have a planner. You may not have seen it or noticed it because it may not come home, or it doesn't come out of the backpack. I don't know. But in my classes, they're required to have it out at the beginning of each class and to literally old school handwrite what their assignment is and the due date. And that makes them accountable in class. Then they also have Google Classroom as a backup. And last but not least, probably Synergy, but I use Synergy for grade input only. I don't use that as any type of platform to find materials. So Google Classroom under classwork is the best place to locate all of that information. Feel like I'm forgetting something, best way to contact me, email works perfectly. And we as well, I know Dennis does this, and we do this in 7th and 8th grade, notebooks. As they had mentioned in math, we have history notebooks. Students will take notes in there. They'll also put vocabulary in there. We'll have graphic organizers for students to put in there that they're interacting with, essential question write-ups. And these become kind of their resource book for quizzes, for reviewing, studying. And those notebooks will be collected every quarter, and they're given a notebook grade as well. So with that being said, I can't think of anything else I might have left out. Dennis, anything? Pretty good?
No, I think you nailed it. That's pretty much it.
That's it. And it's an online textbook. I think I forgot to say that.
Yeah,
That's
TCI.
kind of important. Yes, TCI, it's an online textbook. If your child should need a hard copy, check with our library, Mrs. Bitter, and it may be possible for your student to check out a hard copy should they need it. But generally speaking, kids are pretty tech savvy and everything's online. And most of the time, TCI works very well. That's it. I'm excited to have your kiddos in class, and reach out to me if you need to. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Gall. Nice job.
You're muted. You're muted.
Breathing. All right, so next we're going to go to our two members of our esteemed special education team. They work with multiple grade levels, but for tonight's purposes, they are these are the two that are going to be presenting about 7th grade. They are Justin Matlow and Amy Tully. So thanks guys for being here. Sorry for my unmuting. I can see that you have unmuted successfully.
All right, well, I'll go first. I'm Amy Tully. I'm a special ed teacher here. And this is my 9th year working for the district. But before that, I had a pretty windy path to the teaching profession. I've, for a short time, I taught English at a remote Guatemalan village. And I've taught English to Italian soldiers and preschool for a little bit. And before working here at a small private school for kids with reading challenges. But now here at PGMS, I teach social skills, transition English, a Read 180 class, and an ELA 6 through 8. And for the parents of my students, I did email you all videos that's describing the class more in detail. I'm not going to do that here. I'm excited to be here and hopeful for this year. Thank you. Mr. Matlow.
Hi, excuse me. My name is Justin Matlow, and I was doing the math trying to figure out how long I've been teaching this district. I believe it's been 6 years. I have taught for this is my 30th year of teaching, actually. And I have the good fortune at Pacific Grove Middle School to teach special education and general education students. I teach Math 180, which is a math intervention program, which is designed to address the needs of struggling students. It combines classroom support, adaptive software, and it provides a personalized instruction and practice. The topics include multiplicative thinking, division, fraction concepts, and sometimes we definitely go over some subtraction and addition, regrouping, and whatnot. We will cover anything that the students need, really. I also teach Math Support 8, which is a support class for to be taught concurrently for students who also take Math 8. And I would just like to let the parents know that there's also a Math Support 7 class available and a Math Support 6, although the Math Support 7 will be the most pertinent one. And Bill Hurst teaches that class. And he's an excellent teacher. And it's an excellent program, the support classes. Again, it's a class that you take at the same time that you take math, and it provides the practice that the students need to feel competent and confident in their math skills. And it's been a very, very successful program that we've been running. So I teach those two classes. In addition, I push into a Math 7 class with Miss Hooper. And I also push into a Math 8 class. I have taught elementary, middle, high school, and And let's see, I got my credentials at Northridge and my bachelor's degree in Santa Cruz. I live in the Aptos area, Aptos Watsonville area, and my wife is also a teacher. And I have two young boys. Actually, one's a man now. Let's see. I want to mention that I sent out a syllabus. I will also be using Google Classroom, week at a glance primarily. I want to let the parents know that we are gradually getting back into the classroom. What I mean to say is that we're learning quite a bit already right away, and we're hitting the ground running, but the students are kind of gradually coming back, I feel. And I just want you to know that we're very patient with them, and it's really wonderful to have them back. If you have anything that you need to share with me, you're always welcome to contact me via email. And I'm really excited about this school year, and thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Matlow and Miss Tully. And finishing out our order here will be our PE team, and 7th grade is shared between both of our two wonderful PE teachers. They are Chip Dory, going by Liam tonight. He's logged in through his kid's account, it looks like, and Miss Pettis, who is acting as herself. So I am getting them ready to go. And here we go.
Good evening. My name is Chip Dory. It is not Liam. That is my youngest son. I did not want to try to go through changing that tonight because I'm sure it would have screwed something up. So I just left it. So if you call me Liam, it's okay. I'll respond to that. Real quickly, a little about myself. I grew up on the Monterey Peninsula. I went to a rival high school and public school district. I won't name names, but this is where I wanted to be when I started teaching at about 25 years old and started getting into education, and I found PGMS. This is the school that I wanted to sort of settle in at. And so I've been here for quite some time, and I love the school. I love the staff, and it's a really great group of kids. A little about my approach to teaching. I'm just going to kind of share a quote from a book that I read this summer, written by Laird Hamilton. If you don't know who Laird Hamilton is, he's an ocean sports athlete and real pioneer of the sport. And he's also married to a professional volleyball player. And one of his quotes is that movement is a key to life, and our bodies were designed to move. And that's something I really hold true in my class, because although I've heard I talk a lot, I really want the kids to use that time in PE to be moving as much as possible, but also learning about themselves and their body. But I also believe that exercise and sports really help students in all areas of their life. It improves learning, reduces stress and anxiety for the kids, it improves their mood, helps improve their concentration, and increases their energy levels. I know not all middle school kids need an increase in energy levels, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. When students come to my class, I really want them to try new things. It's a great opportunity to try some things that maybe they've never had exposure to in terms of sports and fitness. I want them to challenge themselves. I want them to create some good body awareness, be able to have some real good control, understand how to evaluate themselves, set goals, reach those goals, be supportive of each other and find success, but most importantly, have fun, because I think it should all be fun. To achieve some of these outcomes, a lot of things that we do, a lot of sports that we play, first and foremost is ultimate frisbee. That's what we've chose to start off with this school year, but we'll get into things like basketball, track and field, volleyball, soccer, yoga, jumping rope, strength and fitness and flexibility lessons. And to achieve those, each quarter, kids will be broken into teams. So each class has 6 teams, and we'll do a lot of competitive things together. They'll play those sports together and against each other. They'll inquire on fitness related topics. They'll problem solve together in different activities, and then they'll create things together. And one of my favorite activities that we do in the spring is in their teams, they create a game with each other that they teach to the class, and we all play it. And that's one of my favorite activities, and possibly theirs too. Some other topics that we talk about in PE include nutrition, understanding heart rate and related to exercise level of intensity, injury prevention, healthy relationships, the dangers of drugs and alcohol in our health unit that comes up in the spring, which also covers puberty, reproduction, STIs. And then they'll also take the California fitness test in the spring as well. So that's some of our curriculum in a nutshell. In terms of grading and communication, Synergy is our grading that we use. That's really just purely grades. And then Google Classroom is really our form of communication. And we try to update that weekly, if not several times a week, with pertinent information. And that's where our course description lives. So if you ever need information regarding PE, that document will always be there, and talks about, notes for illnesses and injuries and grading and dressing out. But also, if you need to contact me, please email me. I check that many times a day, and we'll get back to people very promptly. But that's PE in a nutshell. And if I forgot anything, Desi, please jump in and fill in the holes for me.
I will. I'm Desi Pettis. So Chip teaches the 8th grade and the other half of the 7th grade that I don't teach. And then I teach the 6th grade and part of the 7th grade. Chip covered a lot of what we do cover. We both share the same philosophy for our department, really believe in movement and how it correlates with helping students academically. And a lot of the things that they do, they don't realize it's disguised to help their brain function. And so we really try to do that a lot. My background, this is my 5th year here. And I have been teaching now, I think, for 24 years. So I also have high school background. I taught high school for 17 years before going to middle school. And I really enjoy teaching the kids in person. And it's really great to be back. I think the kids are really happy to be back. For the most part, it seems like everyone's really enjoying class, and I'm trying to make this a really smooth transition for your students, since technically the 7th grade, this is their first in-person being in middle school. So everyone's a little bit behind for a year, but we're trying to make it an easy transition for everyone. And Google Classroom is the best way to find out what we're doing in class. I'm trying to keep up with doing a weekly week at a glance. And I have one assignment a week, just check in my students and see how they're feeling. So those are the weather checks, if you've seen those. If you need to get a hold of me, my email is, I believe I emailed every parent and student in my class. So they should all have my email. You should all have my email. So please feel free to contact me if you need to. And we'll get back to you as soon as I can. I had 20 emails this morning because all the kids that were missing something emailed me with the right format. So thank your kids for following directions. I really appreciate that. And I guess that's it. Yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
All right, thank you, Ms. Pettis and Mr. Dory. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have for tonight. I know you know what's missing. Unfortunately, because most of our elective teachers also teach a content class tonight, they were assigned to speak about their content classes, as that is probably the thing that you're most interested in. But for 7th grade, our electives are art, where students study styles and elements of art, home economics, and that can include everything from sewing to cooking, also balancing a budget. Very fun class. Computer video bulletin, and computer video bulletin is actually a core piece of our communication with students and staff throughout the school. It's a student directed and developed video bulletin that we play each morning. You've probably seen or heard about it. And then lastly, STEAM, which is an acronym that stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Art, and Math. And so that is a project-based class that kind of shows students the interconnectedness of these disciplines and how they can kind of leverage each other to come up with new innovative ideas and projects. It is technology heavy, but they also get their fingernails dirty in our school garden. So that's a little bit about the electives, but if you want more information from your teachers, you feel free to contact them via email. That is the preferred method of contact. A couple other things that came up that I'll touch on really quickly. Synergy, I hope you've heard about it. I hope you've signed up for Parent View app on your cell phone. It's fantastic. I use it with my own kids, and it gives me a really quick way of getting in and seeing what's going on with their grades. I have to remind myself not to check it too often, because I understand the lag time sometimes between an assignment being due and the assignment being graded, and when that actually reflects like an actual grade. So I try to look and not worry, and then talk with my son and look at it maybe with him to develop a conversation about how he's doing in school. So I'm sure all families have a way about it, but Synergy is a fantastic tool for all of us to use to communicate about student progress. The last piece, if you have questions for any of our teachers, I know this is a difficult mode for all of us, especially with a Q&A type thing. So we ask that you box those questions up into an email and send them out to the people that need them. And lastly, I'll apologize for any technical difficulties at the beginning of this, for waiting a little longer if you were stuck in a waiting room. Another new technology and way that we're trying to do things, which we've done a lot in the last few years. So thank you for bearing with us again. We've all learned something, I hope. And so now next up is music. So music will be taking place back in the main room. So if you are a parent of a music student and want to stick around for the music presentation, I highly encourage it. Ms. Priest will be ready for you in the main room. If you are not a music parent or do not wish to go to the music presentation next, then you are welcome to just log out right here. Thank you all for coming, and let us know what we can do to support you and your students. Thanks, everybody.
Moderators from all the grade levels. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you had a good time this evening. We are going to stick around on this line, and you're welcome to do so, but we're going to talk about music. So if your student is not enrolled in music and you would rather watch the Giants game or something like that, you are definitely free to do so. Otherwise, we're going to wait just a little bit. We've got 75 participants. I am going to introduce our esteemed music aficionado, Miss Barbara Priest, as well as our choral instructor, Jared Mazer.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me okay? All right. And I'll let Mr. Mazer introduce himself as well. I'm Barbara Priest.
He's coming.
Okay.
Thank you. Hopefully you can hear me as well. I'm not sure. Okay, good. I got some thumbs up. Well, Mr. Roach, should I wait or should I just do the thing?
I say you do the thing.
Okay. All right. Well, first, I see we have about 88 people here. If your son or daughter or child is not in choir and they want to join, it's not too late. It's not too late. Let me just throw the pitch out there. I know it's early. That's always the excuse that I get. 7:45, it's not super early. And once your students get used to it and they're having fun and showing up every day, it's not a big deal. Okay. So it's not too late. They can come tomorrow and they can sing with us. So basically just have two things that I want to talk about. So first and foremost, being in the choral realm, we are singing and we are indoors. We are following the recommendations from the National Association for Music Education, which are kind of, it's like our big overseeing group for music educators. And their recommendation is we can sing indoors with appropriate social distancing masks for 30 minutes. My class is only 40 minutes long and I love to talk. So we definitely are within keeping it safe and within the realm of what's an okay thing for us to do. So we're working hard on that, and you know, we're trying to keep everybody in a good place. So the next thing I just want to talk about is potential upcoming events for the choir. There will be a CCS, a Central Coast Section Middle School Honor Choir. That's definitely happening. It will be an in-person event. We're not entirely sure where. There will not be a live concert for that event. It will be a recorded concert. So the kids will go get together. They'll all look sharp with their fancy clothes on, and we'll have a professional videographer and audio person put together a beautiful video for you to see. But most important about that event is the kids get to learn from somebody other than me. And so if your kids were, you know, have come up from kindergarten through 6th, 7th, or 8th grade here at Pacific Grove, I'm the only music teacher that they've ever had besides Miss Priest. So this is a great opportunity for them to get to know someone else and get to learn from someone else. The other events that we have this half of the year, November 11th is Veterans Day, and in the past we have done an outdoor performance. It is a volunteer performance to honor our veterans. I haven't heard whether that's going to happen. I'm assuming because it's outside, most likely it will, but again, I don't know. Fingers crossed. I think so, and it is volunteer. It's easy volunteer hours for the kids, and it's a great opportunity for the choir to get out in the community and to kind of, you know, support the community, support our veterans. And then our final event is for this half of the year, is our holiday winter concert. I don't remember the date off the top of my head, and I'm not entirely sure what that's going to look like. You know, we're sort of still seeing what happens. I think being in music, we're one of the areas that is still really affected by the pandemic. And so we're still saying, okay, what's going to happen? You know, how many people can we have inside? What's that going to look like? So we're just playing it by ear on that. And, you know, you'll hear more from me here very soon. I am going to send out an information letter, so you have all of the information that I'm speaking about, as well as more here very soon. So yeah, that's it from me. I guess I'll turn it over. Oh, don't forget to have your kids join choir, and I'll turn it over to Miss Priest.
Thank you, Mr. Mazer. Nice job. Mr. Mazer, are you using these shirts again this year?
We will be using those shirts, absolutely.
Okay, so I'll send you a link, and I'll just start off with the instrumental music. I'm Barbara Priest, and proud instrumental music director. This great program. We wear an informal uniform on Spirit Days. We wear them for assemblies and informal concerts as they come up, and you can purchase those from Neil McLaren, Field of Dreams, and that's a link in Google Classroom. So in your Google Classroom, there is a link, and by August 31st, you should please try to order that. And of course, if there are any materials or things that I go over tonight that you can't obtain or can't afford to get, we will provide that for you. We will make sure that everyone has what they need to be successful. So let's begin with some events. And like Mr. Mazer said, the performing arts are heavily affected. And even with our PPE and masks on, trying to teach embouchures is challenging. So as the weather changes, we're going to try to get some rehearsals outdoors with those bands, so I can see their embouchures and make some progress that we've lost on screen and with masks. So October 2nd, is the Butterfly Concert, and that's for symphonic band and the jazzers. Anyone involved in the jazz program or the symphonic band will be performing again at the Robert Down Field after the parade. And that's from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. And that's an event that is graded, so they'll get points for doing that. And they also earn community service. It's a big deal to get out there and represent our community and play. So that's a concert coming up right away. And that's why we're gonna need those outdoor rehearsals to get some of that music going and make some improvements. Today was a great rehearsal. I don't know if you heard from your students today. I'm inspired. We're coming along. There is some learning loss, but we're catching up. The other two big concerts, like Mr. Mazur said, there's a winter concert and a spring. And the winter and spring concerts are formal concerts. So we'll wear black and white. So white shirt, black tie, black pants and shoes. Don't forget the black socks. And that's December 15th and May 11th. Those are Wednesday nights. And those are our concerts that every student is required to attend and enjoys to attend. It's like our big final exam. And we ask students to stay for the entire concert. And like, again, Mr. Mazur said, we're working with the parameters that are being dealt to us for concerts, but I believe we'll be able to do something really nice for those two concerts. Festivals and things like that, like going to play with others and hearing from judges and things. I'd like to bring in a festival again this year to our site. So rather than going to another site to play, I'd like to again bring in a few adjudicators, and those are folks who come in and take a look at our curriculum, take a look at our performance and give us a critique. And then we're going to try to plan some celebratory event. And again, as the parameters dictate field trips and things like that, we'll do maybe a celebratory event. Books and supplies. Okay, I like to move forward. I know it's getting late. You've probably been here a while. Each class has their books and supplies. I'd like to go over supplies first, and then I'll show you the books so you can get a kind of visual on them. Again, anything that I mentioned here, if you can't afford to get or you can't get it, I will help you, right? We'll have parents. We don't have a booster group right now, but we'll be working to fundraise to get you what you need. Trombone players need slide cream. They need a spray bottle at home to spray their slide. They need tuning slide grease. This is all in the music handbook, which is in the Google Classroom. It's about 11-page document. And I've only asked you please to sign and fill out the last 2 pages. And most of you have done that. Most students have turned that in. So that was for trombones. Other brass players need valve oil for their valves and tuning slide grease. And the best advice is to let me show your child first. So if you're not sure how to do something or something doesn't seem right, let me look at it first. The next thing is for woodwinds. They need swabs. And we're very cautious of the aerosol in the classroom. We've got great PPE. We've got great air circulation, air changes and ventilation. Woodwinds need swabs. They need their own swabs. We're not sharing anything. PPE. Let's see, what was it? PPE, every student's been given a mask, including percussion. They've been given an N95. The wind players also have bell covers. And the case of aerosol emitting instruments like that. And I'll take any questions on that when we're done. The other material, very important item is the tuner. It's a metronome tuner. And it tells you if you're in tune or not. And we've talked about hertz and sound waves. And it also keeps time when I'm not there. Oops, when I'm not there, we've got the metronome, right? It's very important that students play with a steady beat. And if they don't have a conductor, they'll need a metronome. Where to find those? The Bookmark Music Store has all of these items, and if they're out, they will order it for you. You can also check online at thewoodwindbrasswind.com. And your students should have that written down in their journal, their weekly journal, thewoodwindbrasswind.com. Percussionists, they need sticks and mallets. I have secured a website that sells these. Bookmark Music Store has these in some order. They include snare sticks, regular drumsticks, yarn wrapped mallets, rubber mallets, and timpani mallets. And if your child is focusing mainly on mallets, we can talk about what to purchase. But in general, you need a bag and a few sets of sticks and mallets like that. And I can help you get those. Marcia Stearns, who owns the Bookmark Music Store down there in Forest, she's getting all this stuff and putting it together for you at a great price. Let's see. The practice pad is also really important for our percussionists, as well as a bell set. A piano would suffice. The bell set is like a miniature glockenspiel or a small metal xylophone. Okay, the weekly practice log, and I borrowed a student's. The weekly practice log, that's the best way to earn points and keep your grade up, is the spiral notebook. And inside we label them by week. Quarter 1, number 2 was last week. We're on quarter 1, number 3 right now. And at the top of the page is where you will sign. Any parent, guardian, adult that witnesses the practicing would sign at the end of the week. So Sunday night is best. And on Monday or the first week of school is when we want these submitted, and I'll take a look at them. Please note that I haven't marked anything late yet. All right, we're getting materials in. We're on journal number 3. Nothing is late yet. Students and even returning students are getting back in the swing of things. So this journal is due every week, and I'd like the students, just like last year, to attach it to a Google slide and turn it in the Google Classroom, turn it in there. And the grades then appear in Synergy. So we have to go to Google and then put the grade in Synergy. So don't worry if it looks like it's late. I'm not marking anything late yet. We put those dates in place to keep students mindful. Books, I'll finish up with books. Again, if you can't get these books, we've got them. We've been loaning out a bunch. We have some at school. We'd like you to have a set at home. The jazz band meets Wednesdays and Fridays. The combo meets Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's called Standard of Excellence. And this is the jazz book. It's available down at the Bookmark Music Store. The bands, the concert band will also use Standard of Excellence, Book 1 and Book 2, Standard of Excellence. And the symphonic band or advanced band will add Book 3 to that, Book 2 and 3. The orchestras. String orchestra, our first year orchestra, will use Sound Innovations and Essential Elements, which they may have started last year. And since Mr. Ruby, wonderful teacher, started them in Essential Elements last year, our advanced orchestra, our chamber orchestra, will use Essential Elements Book 2. And we use these in class as well. I have extras to loan out. It's called All for Strings. And we do use that. We have a set at school, some to loan. So if you can get these, that would be great. If not, we're working around that. Lastly, the theory book. Each student has a theory book. Thank goodness for this district. This wonderful district supplies theory books for every student. And if you work through the theory book, you're getting to about Theory 101 in college. You're getting to the end of high school, ready for college theory. This is an amazing book. We keep it in the classroom. If they lose it, we'll figure out a way around it. They worked at home last year. We're going to work on it this year as well. Sometimes I call it Theory Thursday. And we'll have a sign in the classroom, and I let the students know that they can keep their instrument in their locker or at home, and we spend the day looking at theory. And it's a self-paced book. We do ear training together, and everyone's kind of at their own level in music, but everyone can still earn an A. Everyone can still be successful no matter where they have started. And to wrap up, my philosophy on music education is to give students, and in my adult groups, any musician, the skills they need to keep music in your life. The skills you need to play music or to even enjoy music, beyond your playing years. So that's what we'll do. We'll be successful. And I'm grateful for our staff and administration and great parents. You've called, you have emailed, you've offered to come in to help. Get fingerprinted. We're going to need you. It's a big classroom, lots going on, and it's moving a little bit slowly. But today I was really inspired by what I heard. Every class is starting to lock in and gel. So let me open it up for questions. I know our administration, we did pretty well, Mr. Roach, Mr. Tavani, we did pretty well with time.
Oh, absolutely, you did. And I see Erica Chavez.
Oh, good. Hello.
Go ahead and.
Hi, sorry, thank you. I'm seeking confirmation because I was under the impression the butterfly parade has been canceled. So I'm wondering if you're still planning a butterfly concert.
So I was told that there is a concert so far. All the information I've had, I don't know about the parade because we don't march in that anymore. We focus on the basics and getting rehearsal techniques. It was just wiping all that out at the beginning of the year. So we focus on a nice concert at Robert Down. Let's just all keep in mind that everything is kind of to be determined.
Totally.
If you look on the handbook, you're going to see the calendar of things that we want to do, and already the Monterey Jazz Festival is out. The lunch field trip is out this year. Hopefully next year. They want to distance and keep it safe, so that's out. Thank you for that heads up though, Mrs. Chavez, on that. Any info anyone hears would be good. Any other questions for me?
We're waiting. Wait, we're using teacher wait time, Ms. Priest. Teacher wait time. We're gonna wait for those questions. Okay, well, if you don't have any questions for Ms. Priest, you can always email Mr. Mazur. You guys did a great job, as usual. A lot of information. I think everybody really appreciated it. And what did we have? 64 participants. That is huge. That is wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you, folks. I really appreciate it. I do have to apologize for a little bit of technical difficulty that we had on the front end, but we did our best, and I think we had a good time this evening. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us. Have a wonderful Wednesday, and we'll see you guys soon.
Have a great year.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.